Hey everybody, this is Johnny Wu here with MDI. Happy New Year. This is the year of 2022 and hopefully we can provide you a little more information and some test review, not only with the camera gears and filmmaking gears, we're also going to try to get into some of the things that I recently ventured into. Today this is going to be about the Oculus Quest 2, which I have in here. It's a VR system, a standalone system that you don't need to connect to any computer, which you can do either way, or to connect to a PlayStation or Xbox to make it work. The reason why I bought this is because I was having a hard time using the PlayStation VR set and got to the point where I got frustrated with the cables and the quality and this and that. And after talking to a few of my friends and looking online, I noticed the Oculus Quest 2, which is now called the Meta Quest 2 because they changed the company name. So it could be part of the metaverse now. So this was something I bought and decided to play with it. And I gotta tell you, I got very addicted to it. It was a lot of fun. And not only that, I got about 9 of my friends to actually get their own set of this headset, and we all play together and play lots of great games. Now, one thing I want to let you know before we get into this is I suffer with vertigo, which means that I cannot do a lot of crazy stuff, like going to the water. I will get motion sickness. In the car, if I'm not a driver, I get motion sickness. If I want to play and don't take a nap, I get motion sickness. So there's a lot of things that happen to me due to the vertigo and the ringing in my ears that make it very difficult for me to play with VR system. However, I have been able to uh, do this playing with the Oculus Quest 2 for almost 2 hours time straight. And I'm going to give you some more information on how I did that and how you can do to prevent having motion sickness while using the VR system. So I'm going to go with that later. So a little bit about this, when you open the box, you get a little nice Oculus Quest 2 box. And then inside you have the uh, headset, just like this, with a very basic head strap. And come with 2 remote control, one for the right hand, one for the left hand. It's actually pretty intuitive. I actually like this design more than what I use for the PlayStation VR set. The PlayStation VR set, you basically use 2 of this motion move controller, which is horrible to use with. So I would not recommend that. So I paid for it for $299 for the 128 gig, and then I got the 256 gig because I just feel like I want to have more memory. Personally, if you're not using it for more than yourself, then the 128 gig one would be enough. If you'll be sharing the same uh, headset with 2 other people, you might want to consider using the 256 gig. So what's the difference here? So what they do is they actually enable now the app sharing, which means that if you have one headset and you want to use it and share with your friends or your family members, and you don't want them to use your account, you can create secondary or third accounts within the first primary. And then you can activate the sharing from the primary to share with the second or third accounts in the same headset. Now there's a note. You can only activate one sharing only per household. So basically, or per account rather. So basically, if I want to use both of this headset, I have 3 by the way, to share, only one of them I can activate to sharing. The other one had to be also purpose of using it by myself. So when you set it up, very simple. You have both of them set up with the same primary email address, which is the one you had to log in through Facebook at this point. They don't have the option to use Oculus account without using Facebook. So with that said, just be aware that you need to connect with your Facebook account. If you don't have a Facebook account, create a dummy one, just for the game, if you really want to go that far. And then the secondary would be from your kid or your spouse or your friend, and then you have to connect through their Facebook account too. Now remember that you can only pick one of those 2 to do so. So once you have that created, you got to go to your primary account of that headset, and turn on for app sharing. And then anytime you buy an app with the primary account, the secondary account have access to it to play. Most of them. So that's something that you can actually be able to help make sure that you and your friend can play together, which we do it all the time here. We play almost daily basis for 2 hours and all, depending whether or not we want to go that far. So this headset by itself can last about 1.5 to 2 hours, depending how often you use. And the controller battery doesn't it lasts really well. For us, it lasts about 30 days. So that's actually pretty cool. you can get rechargeable battery for the controller, which actually just slide this open. Then you can change the battery, which is AA batteries, and make it easy for you. Or you can just use, like me, use those cheap Amazon batteries that cost you only $12 for 850 of those, and can use it for almost a year and so. So that's up to you to do so. So let's talk about how you activate the headset. When you first get the headset, make sure you install the app from Oculus Apps website, and then download that to your iPhone or Android phone. Activate your app first, sign in everything else, and wait. And then once you get it activated on your app, then you can go to your headset, turn it on, go follow the process. Now, a couple things to remember here. First, when you set up the activating the headset through the app, they're going to request you to put in a passcode. You gotta have to do it. It's a 4-digit passcode that it's required if you're going to buy any games or anything else on the App Store or the Oculus Store and so on. So if you do that, if you forget the app, the PIN code, you have to reset that. It's a pain in the butt to do so. So always remember to jot it down or write it down, the passcode that you're going to use for buying games. So that's going to happen in the process when you're activating through the app. Now, once you get to the headset, on top of it, there's the 5-digit number. Always write that down. Remember that. That's a number that used to pair with your phone device, mobile devices. Sometimes the pairing doesn't go well, and you're going to need to enter the code, the number again. And lots of us forget it. If we don't write it down, you'll forget the number, and you'll go through the screen and you won't be able to see it. I have experienced that maybe 10% of the time when I play around with all this Oculus, because I have 3 of them, so I decided to reset them, factory reset, redo them, and so on. Only one time I have a hard time to find a PIN code because it just doesn't want to pair with my phone. And then the other time is I forgot to write down the PIN code, so I couldn't figure out how to repair them again. But most of the time, when you set it correctly with the phone first and then go to the headset, it should automatically pair with you without you requiring the PIN code. Remember to have your Bluetooth activated on your phone. If your Bluetooth is turned off, make sure you turn it on and use the PIN code, may need it, and to pair them together. Once you finish doing that, you're going to have to learn how to use the Oculus, follow through, use the app that comes first, which is called the first step. Go through the tutorial. Don't rush it, because you're going to have to learn how to use it better. And there are lots of different buttons in this controller. Both controllers. There's a flat button and then the 2 raised button and the joystick. And joystick, when you push it in, there's also a button to do. And then you have a middle finger usage for the button here, and then you also trigger button here. So you gotta understand how this works. And both controller, the one on the left side, have different features for the flat button compared to one on the right hand. So what about motion sickness? So here's what you have to do. Don't play roller coaster type of games for the first time. Always try something basic. When you go to the store through your headset or the phone, you can look through the program, each game, and then on the inside the game, there's a ratings. On the rating, when it says comfortable, that's the one you want to use first. Those are more easier for you to get used to the feeling. So that's the number 1 tip that you want to remember. The second is you can use some motion sickness pill or motion sickness herbs oil that you can do. One thing I use is this one is called Vertigo Ease. So I got this for myself, and it's working really well, and it helps me a lot in the sense of rubbing right behind the ear lobe here, and then helping you with motion sickness. I didn't want to take the motion sickness pill because they actually gave me lots of drowsiness. The last thing also I do is I have a fan, a portable fan blowing at me, or ceiling fan turned on while I'm playing, and that helped my brain be grounded to know that I'm actually in the game, not really running around or ducking and so on. So that's something you want to do to start with. And don't rush yourself. If you feel dizzy, stop immediately. Wait a few hours and try again, or wait for another day and try again. Build up the consciousness, to the brain to be able to understand that you're actually not in the real world, but this is all VR and this is all fake. Then, if you got to be comfortable enough, then start using different feature options of the inside the game. Instead of using teleport, which I use all the time, you can start trying about walking in the game and see how that works out for you. If you and then play the other games that doesn't to get used to the feeling. Then eventually you'll be able to do the roller coaster and all the plank game, and so on. So take your time, don't rush. One thing I forgot to mention also is the settings on the glasses here. So in on the instruction that come with the Oculus Quest 2, it doesn't give you tell you much other than you can push the lenses inward and outward to adjust the IPD. The IPD is the distance between your pupil on both eyes. I have set this for all the way stretched out, which is 66 millimeter and larger. And some people use the middle, which is between 61 to 66, and then the last one will be 61 millimeters and smaller. So to be able to do that, to be able to set it correctly, there's a program app that I use on iPhone. It's called Glass On. And with Glass On, when you turn it on, there's two options. Either you use the second option, which is measuring your IPD. And then with a credit card or a debit card that have a magnetic strip, you put in your forehead, and it will give you, after a few seconds, will give you the information about your distance between your two pupil and give you the number. You can use that number and set your IPD movement of the glasses or the lenses between each eyes, and that will help you to get lesser blurriness and also help you without lesser your motion sickness uh, in case there you get one. So that's something you want to do. Take under consideration to do that. So the other thing when you have your headset put together is you have to pay attention about the Guardian. Guardian is the safe measurement that Oculus provide for you to have. So if you walk out of that um, perimeter or the drone line, then it will give you a warning saying that you're out of your area. So the way that I like to use the stationary one, which will give you a little smaller circle. A lot of people like to do is draw their own space. If you do so, always remember to keep about 1 to 2 feet away from the objects like a table, monitor, TV, wall, whatsoever. This way, in case you run out that safe zone area, you don't hit your head really quickly to the wall or the TV and bust your TV and so on. So keep that in mind. Just make sure you do that. If you don't have a big space, use the circle. If you don't have that, try to find a place that you can play with. Don't play on the like you see in TikTok. Some people play on between the hallway or the two rooms. Don't do that. It's gonna hurt you and hurt the equipment, and then you might have to go to the hospital, or you may damage the wall and patch it up. You can get expensive. So just keep that in mind next time you play with Oculus. This is a very quick tutorial and quick tips because I suffer with vertigo. I want people like me who have a hard time using a VR set be able to easily ease into it and eventually be able to play with 2 hours and so on. So if I can do it, I'm very sure you can too. The key here is do not rush. Take your time, breathe, turn the fan on, have some kind of motion sickness pill or liquid that you can rub behind your ear to get out and adjust the IPD between your eyes, and that will help a lot. And eventually, you can last 3-4 hours and even play games like Onward on Contractor, just like the those kind of first-person shooting games that you can play against each other. I still cannot do popular one, which is really complicated, but eventually I think I will get there. Just gonna take time, and I'm not gonna rush for it. I hope this will help you guys, and hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.